Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a little while since we've done one of these, but by popular demand, I present to you another stash acquisition
All right,
video.
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are here to discuss some new stash acquisitions. We're not going to go through everything that I've purchased in the last, I don't know, 8 months since I've done one of these videos. We're going to just look at a few things here because we're not going to be here for 2 hours. I don't want to be here for 2 hours, and Lord knows you don't want to be here for 2 hours. So we're going to look at, first off, a few things I've gotten in from Spot Model, which is in Spain. Earlier this year, and probably continuing a little bit, but not quite as good as it was, the exchange rate between the US dollar and the euro was actually on our side of the equation for the first time, basically since the euro is coming into existence. And so I had the opportunity to grab a few things at a reasonable price. First up, we got this rebox of the Fujimi Porsche 917K as the 1970 Le Mans winner. Fujimi did do this kit with this livery in it quite a while ago. It is not something that they have reissued recently in terms of their overall 917 scheme, if you will, because a number of the 917s have been reissued in the last 2 years. This one doesn't happen to be one of them. Looks like Zenchetti decals in here compared to Cartograph. They're about even, give or take, both made in Italy. And overall, if you have a Fujimi 917, you know what's in here. This is molded in white. Obviously, you paint the thing red in the end, but that is something. Mainly because I have a collection at this point of the Le Mans cars. And I figured, yeah, this one. Because I kind of like the Salzburg livery anyway. I have it for one of the Porsche 918 Revell kits to do as a sort of a conversion. So why not get the actual race car that inspired that? So we have that. And then we also picked up from the Revell Germany side the Easy Click. This is the new tool for 2022. Audi RS e-tron GT. So this is the same car as the Porsche Taycan, just with a different, obviously, the Audi body and Audi interior on it. Be interested to see if they go to do a Porsche Taycan with this. It would require a new body, obviously, and probably some new interior pieces as well. Overall, kit looks pretty nice. It is, a simplified-ish kit with 71 parts. This is, of course, more parts than a lot of curbside glue kits from, say, Fujimi, Aoshima have in them as a total. But overall, it's looks pretty decent. Not a lot of the issues with sink marks and things like that a lot of the Revell Germany kits have had over the last couple of years. It is molded in this very dark blue, which is sort of the only, I guess, downside if you want to consider it. Mainly because I don't believe this color blue is actually available on the GT version of the e-tron. I think it's available on some of the lower trim levels. And while, I don't want to say good painter because that sounds insulting, but for a capable painter, repainting something dark is not a problem. It is, from a standpoint of ease, molding it in white would have been better, but it is a Snaptake kit. It's designed to be built without painting anything at all, so I understand, but at the same time, I don't know. Well, maybe this would appeal more to a younger crowd being an electric car, but anyway, we got that. And then last Spot Model kit would be this. It is the Revell modified reissue of the 71 Oldsmobile 442. Now, this has the engine, chassis, running gear from the 72 442 convertible, 72 Oldsmobile Cutlass convertibles. Both those things, same thing, basically. Just different trim levels and different pieces in those convertible kits. This has a new body. Duh, obviously. The glass for the body, also duh, obviously. And it actually has an entirely new chassis or interior platform. The platform for the convertible would not fit in here as designed, so it has a whole new platform. And then it has its own set of seats and sets of door panels and everything like that because the trim in 1971 was different from 1972. So it's nice to see them doing that little bit of extra to sort of, make the kit better than. They could have just thrown a body on this and been done with it, but they did go that extra little bit. The reason why I have this in a Revell of Germany box rather than a Revell of US box is that when the kit came out in the US box, quite a few of them were coming with smashed bodies. This kit, the way it's packaged in here, is a set of sprues about this big, another set of sprues about this big, and then the body is over here on the end. This is actually one of the first Revell of Germany kits I've got that the body is actually shrink wrapped or heat wrapped with the rest of the model kit. People who know the Revell of Germany kits know that the body usually falls out one end or the other, depending on how you open the box, and it's usually not bagged. This is actually bagged with everything. In the US box, it is this set on top of this set with the body going down the side of those two sets of things, laying with the roof on the outside edge. Not exactly sure what happened, because it is a problem that is significant enough that happened to quite a few people across the country, not just locally here. It's not just a case of like one box got damaged by UPS or something like that. It happened widely, but it is not a catastrophic problem where it's affecting everybody. A number of these kits were coming with smashed roofs. They would have the A-pillars damaged on both sides with the roof crushed in from some sort of impact that was happening to the outside of those boxes. I suspect it was something to do with the cases themselves being damaged in transit in the container, because there's no other real reason for it. These kits tend to be, packaged in bulk and then repackaged in the native country, so to speak. So, like a Revell Germany kit that is reboxed into a US kit is just sent to the United States in bags of parts, and then they repackage it into our smaller boxes. I'm not sure how this was shipped in terms of who got what and how it came, because the Revell Germany boxes are boxed differently in terms of just being bagged completely differently than they have been in the past. And the stacks are in different orders than the US kit, so I don't know if the US kit was packaged and then sent straight to the US, and then these were sent as bags and were packaged in Germany. How exactly that all worked out, don't have the information, not even going to try to speculate on that, but suffice it to say, these don't have that issue because the body doesn't impact the size of the box the way the US one does. Now, I have people who bought the US kit from the same vendor on the same day as the one I had and had no issues with it. I have people who bought the same kit from vendors in Minnesota, in Florida, and Texas that had damaged bodies. People in California didn't have damaged bodies. So it's not a 100% for sure, buy the US kit, you're going to get screwed situation, but it is definitely something to look out for on those US boxing. If you pick up a US box version of this kit, make sure you open it right away to determine if your body is damaged. I'm not sure what Revell is doing in terms of replacing those bodies. I know my local hobby shop guy has basically given up doing exchanges on it. You sort of get what you get and you have to deal with it, because from at least from his end, it doesn't seem like Revell is going to replace those bodies. He's selling the damaged kits sort of like a what you see is what you get kind of thing, as far as being, a quote-unquote discount, because they are opened. In most cases, the body bags were opened as well. Not the greatest situation in the world, but since it's not a molding issue, it's some sort of transit issue, it's one of those things. But at any rate, I got this. Happy to have one that's not damaged and not have to, because I went through 4 or 5 kits at my local hobby shop and every single one of them was damaged. But again, not everybody, so I don't know what that's about. At any rate, looking forward to getting to that at some point in the future. And then we got a number of accessories from Spot Model as well, because I didn't want these kits to be lonely. Those were actually 3 separate shipping series there. That was not like one big purchase at once. One of the things that Decalcos has reprinted are the Braid series wheels for the Opel Manta kits. These had gone out of stock. They sold out of them. These appear to be 3D printed rather than resin cast. As you can see, there's still the hub is the wheel center, I should say, is on its printed stand. These were cast resin when they came out originally. Be interesting to see if they go ahead and reprint, if you will, the other 2 sets of these decals they did for these Opel kits in the past. And that corresponds with this set of decals, also Decalcos decals for the Team of Spania Group B car that ran in several Spanish rallies. You see here the Rally Catalonia, the Rally Internacional Valeo, the Rally Albania, and the Hunstruck Rally, which is a German rally, not a not a Spanish rally there. The Rally Albania here is the winning car, which is this car that's here on the box art of the decals, if you will. This is, they give you the option to build, again, all 4 of those different rallies. You This is sort of a general universal part of the decal sheet up here. Let me tilt that out of the glare. So this goes on the kit no matter what, and then these plates, rally plates, and the placards for the doors are obviously individual to the rally. They give you a painting guide in here as well to paint the car. And, overall, it's a kind of a spiffy livery. Very much a throwback to the 80s with Philips, radios and things of that nature. When was the last time Philips sold a radio? So, just a fun kit. And like I said, these are the front wheels to this car. So, not something you have to buy in conjunction necessarily, but if you want to be accurate-ish, you need the wheels. So, happy to see them bring this back out because I wanted to get this set a while back anyway. Also, rally decals, picked up a few other sets here from Rege. This is for the Metro 6R4, the bell kits. This is the Clarion-sponsored 1986 rack rally for the Royal Auto Club in England. I think this car finished 7th or 8th, I want to say. I got decals for 2 different 6R4s, and one didn't finish, and I think this is the one that placed in the top 10. Basic set of decals. Get the idea there. Again, Clarion car stereos. I know Clarion still makes car stereos. When was the last time we actually saw one around? And then we have this set here, which is also for the 1986 Lombard Rally for the Sanyo liveried car. Nice bright blue on this car in real life. Sanyo car hi-fi. Again, when was the last time we saw a Sanyo car radio? So another great piece of 1980s vintage there, and you can see the decals here. Basically, just a lot of white printing on this one, so easy peasy scheme there. And then also picked up this set. This is an Opel set for the Opel Manta, and this is the second place car at the 1985 Manx Rally. You may recall I've talked about this way in the past. Rege has done all 3 podium positions for the 85 Manx Rally. They've done the first place car, the third place car, and now this is the second place car with some AC Delco livery here. AC Delco obviously still exists, but not so much in the car stereo parts, some or pro spec car parts. Yeah, you get spark plugs and stuff like that. I don't think they really do pro car parts anymore. Basic livery here. Give you the painting guide you can see here in the background, telling you basically what parts of the car to paint white, parts of the car to paint blue. The main part of this sort of strobe effect is in a decal, dividing the white, the blue, and the red there. So, it's going to be a little bit more of a tricky two-tone. That is sort of a Rege thing. You're going to paint your own cars with Rege decals for the most part. And then the last thing I got from the folks over at Spot Model, and again, this is spread out over those 3 different shipments, is this conversion set for the B-Max new Toyota Carina E. That is the European version of the Toyota Corona, a terribly unfortunately named car in retrospect, 25 years later. This is the 8th place car from the 1996 24 Hours of Spa. You get a front bumper, you get a wheel set. Also included in here is a rear wing, a set of mirrors. And I think that pretty much wraps up what is in here, if I remember correctly. Rege's resin casting can be kind of iffy compared to a number of other things. This set, really not too bad. A little wispy flash here. I've got to take a little bit of sawzalling to get this off its poor stub. But overall, nothing really too much to complain about. And it's just another sort of unique spa piece with some of the other cars that have been done with, like the new Corolla Levin and the Hasegawa GTS R31 and things like that. I think it's just kind of a fun, different car that is not the traditional 24 Hours of Spa thing, especially now that it's a GT3 race and everything is GT3 at this point, because even GTE and GT Le Mans has gone out of IMSA and FIA WEC, so just a fun little something else. Moving along, my local Walmart, for the first time ever, is carrying model kits at Christmas. Got one of those round 2 shipping pallets. And while I normally spend all of my domestic kit money at my local hobby shop to help support that guy, this was just something my wife happened to send me a picture of, going, hey, look, they have models at Walmart, ha ha ha. And I noticed that this was selling for $21, which is about $5-6 less than it is at the local hobby shop. I've been meaning to pick this up anyway because I have sold off quite a few things actually, but I've sold off the convertible version of this kit to buy this one in its place, and I hadn't yet to actually make that purchase. So hey, for $21, I'll go grab it, and it is the 1964 Oldsmobile 442. So 442s all the way around. This, of course, has the newly tooled hardtop body included on what would be the guts that came in the convertible kit. Converted to 442 for the first time. The Cutlass existed in the past in a hardtop format, but it was not a 442. This has the new engine pieces for the new engine block and the new air cleaner. Yeah, so this is. I am a fan of the 442 in general. I have the 64. I've got a 67. I've got a 66. I think it is. I'm trying to think of what the 71, the 72. So, yeah. The trim on this, I haven't actually opened this obviously, but I'm going to guess the side trim is kind of weak like it is on the convertible. Maybe it's a little stronger on this being another body. But yeah, I know what I'm getting here, so I'm not going to complain about that too hard. And then also recent acquisitions from Portugal. Yes, these you may have seen floating around as being just released not too terribly long ago, like as in the last couple of weeks, are the brand new tool. And we actually have to zoom out a little bit on this. The new tool from D Model Kits, which is a large importer and distributor in Portugal. Much like Domino is a large distributor and importer in Belgium that runs belt kits, they've decided to do their own rally kits. Rally kits apparently the thing to do compared to all the other things. And this is a, like I said, new tool. Ford Sierra Cosworth 4x4, 1991, 1992, 1993, I believe, the 3 seasons this ran. This comes in before the Escorts, as far as the timing of the thing, and after the RS500 based Sierra Cosworth. So your time span, which you're looking at there. These do have some very nice decals included. They do have one of the bigger and better instruction manuals that isn't a Tamiya one. You can just sort of flip through this real quick. We're going to do a detailed kit review of this at some point in 2023, but just to sort of give you the idea in terms of what you're looking at here in terms of the decal. Very nice that this does come with PE, night racing parts, very belt kitty in that way, but these actual seatbelts are pre-cut. They don't give you just one big long strip of ribbon and expect you to try to cut it to the right size, which isn't a Herculean task by any stretch of the imagination, but it is kind of nice that this is already pre-cut. So all you have to do is get the corresponding piece to the corresponding size and then glue it, thread the PE belt buckles and stuff like that, and then glue it where it goes when it gets to where it's going in the chassis. So kind of a little bit easier, kind of like that. Be interested to see other companies do that. I do have on the way the paint sets for a couple of these because they do give you a paint guide in the front here that does reference a number of Tamiya X, XF, TS, and LP paints, which of course would be the spray paint, the gloss acrylic, the flat acrylic, and the new lacquer paint system that they have. But a lot of the body colors are their own, what are called fire scale paints. And in the case of this car, this whole lower valance and the light racing pod, if you want to do that, is a beige color. I'm pretty sure I can mix up something that would match this dark blue, but yeah, I ordered the dark blue, I ordered the beige. I did not order the light blue because this is all decals back here on the kit, so it can easily be done. Here's a photo of the real car here on the side, showing the transition to, maybe, if I can get it to stop glaring, the transition to the light blue, and again the beige. If that was gold, it would have been different. You can see here the color call-outs for fire scale, signal blue, which is the lighter blue, a dark blue, and the beige color. So there's that, and then of course there is a sister kit to that, which is this Ford Sierra Cosworth for the 1992 Rally Portugal in a Mobile 1 livery, the classic red, white, and blue livery that a lot of the Mobile 1 sponsored cars ran at this time period. BMW M3s were this color in Macau at the same period of time. So, yeah, overall, I am happy with first impressions of these kits. Looking at the parts, I would say Bell Kits Plus, same similar design, same similar layout. I'm pretty sure the same people make the kits as far as the manufacturer in China. These are, to me, a little crisper, a little more well molded. I've seen some people who disagree with that idea. There's people out there that'll never be happy with anything. The old could hang them with a fresh rope, they'd still find something to complain about crowd. What it looks like in the box is one thing. What it builds like is really the other thing. That'll be what saves or kills this kit. You could say, okay, you have to rescribe the door openings because they're not quite as sharp as you'd like them to be. But that's a lot of kits that you have to rescribe the door openings anyway. How well is it assembled? That's going to be what these are going to be about. Because right now, D Model Kits has a 95 season Toyota Celica coming, probably in the early part of 2023. And they just announced the Ford Sierra Cosworth Escort WRC, which is something that looks like the Tamiya kit, but it is a little bit later than the Tamiya kit, and is something that has never been put in plastic before. Also, a Citroen DC4 Rally kit, which will have an engine, which will be, 3 kits into their series. They're already putting engines into their thing. That sounds promising. Hope these build up well, and they're successful sales-wise. I think it's successful sales-wise, but obviously word of mouth will sell more of them than just the initial buy-in from people like me who buy everything. Because I like to see another successful company out there. Rally cars, again, not my forte. I'd rather have touring cars, Japanese Super GT cars, even other GT3 cars beyond the Mercedes, the BMW, and the Audi. But unkitted rally cars? Okay, I'll take it. I think they're cool. And so, yeah, those are in. And then I'm going to show you 2 more things. We'll let you go. Because there'll be lots more to show in some other videos. From the local hobby shop, I picked up this, the new reissue of the MPC Toyota Supra, tooled up in 83, reissued in 85 with this box art, with the over fenders on it. Rest assured, you can still build this as, I think there's one on here somewhere. No, there's not. Okay, well, rest assured you can build this in a factory stock one. You don't have to put the IMSA fenders on. Those are separate pieces. You are stuck with the sunroof that is there. And it does come with a full engine with an optional turbocharger if you want to do that, although I think most JDM fans would probably leave the wonky Americanization of the Japanese car off. It is left-hand drive. It is 1/25th scale. So some of the 1/24 scale Aoshima wheels, unless you get some of the 13, 14-inch tires and wheel sets, are probably going to look a little ridiculous. These are some Mark II style wheels that are on here. Gonna build this factory stock. I'm not really big on the over fender IMSA thing. Yeah, looks pretty well detailed. Keep in mind, 1983 MPC, probably one of the better kits that they ever tooled up, to be honest, other than the stuff right before they were bought out by Ertl. But yeah, this is the only full detail, other than one very hard to get a hold of high mecha version of the Fujimi Celica XX that comes in this version of the kit. And again, those are Celica XXs. They're the Celica XX. Those are JDM onlys. The Toyota Supra was the US name for that car, and this is the only Toyota Supra kit that really is easy to find in any sort of existence. And then lastly, we've got the 72 F250 Ranger with the snowplow. So you guys may recall, we talked about this at the Vegas IPMS Nats. Other pictures have followed up of this new plow. It is in this truck. And unlike the original 4x4, this really is a highboy. This really does have the F250 highboy chassis in here. It is very much copied from the Fireball Model Works resin conversion that was done several years ago. So you've got your heavy-duty locker hub wheels here, the heavy-duty tires, the highboy chassis, the highboy suspension. So you do get an actual, honest-to-God, highboy F250 out of this. It is not an F150 regular suspension 4-wheel drive. This is the actual thing this time around. So good to see them invest the money in tooling up the new pieces here. And who can't go for a plow? Comes with square-style headlights as well, so you can make a slightly more modern version of the plow compared to this early 70s version. The plow articulates side to side. I think it's technically posable, but most people probably glue it in place. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this. Yeah, showing you here it could be displayed in multiple versions, and excuse me, you know, overall body here and the interior and all that stuff. The engine with the 390 in it, all that stuff is going to carry over from the previous 70 or 60, 67 to 60, 72 now Ford Ranger series, but this one has the new parts. So that, guys, we'll wrap up this little video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everybody had a good Christmas as we head into the new year, and we'll see you guys on the other side.